It's time for NuWellness TV with Dr. Lee. Join your host, the accomplished Dr. Cherilyn Lee, as she welcomes the leading experts in health and well-being as they explore the advancements in natural health, physical fitness, nutrition, integrative medicine, and self-discovery.
Good day, everyone, and we're here for another wonderful show, and I want to thank everybody for joining us today, especially joining us live. I have an extraordinary, and I basically start out that way, and all my guests are extraordinary people, and I'm so thrilled to have the person who I have with me today, who is the CEO of this wonderful company that he created, that you see there on the wonderful screen there, the Fulton PX. And it is a wonderful kind. Well, we're going to go into more details about that. But my guest is such a passionate person. I think this is why we're working together. He's the most passionate human being that I have ever met. And I am so grateful to meet him. He's taken this to a whole nother level. When we speak on strengthening the immune system and strengthening the immune system by removing heavy metal, radiation, and much more. So that's what we're here to talk about, strengthening, having a healthy immune system, and removing those heavy metals. It is so many things out there right now on the market that can be utilized for heavy metals, but this has been tested and tested and tested. So I want to say you want to not guess on anything. You want to know, and knowing by testing. And testing to see exactly what you're doing, if it's working perfectly for you, if it's actually helping your body to heal. We want to have the best quality of life. That's what's important, the best quality of life. You can take all these medications, and so many people on medications and supplements are very good. But a lot of times there's a lot of things on the market that's supposed to help you remove heavy metal. Sometimes it can cause you a little problem, because it might be dumping into the blood system. This here, we have tested both blood, and my guest here, Mr. Babry Oren, is going to be discussing. So I want to thank you so much, my guest, Mr. Oren. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here, and also thanks for everybody for tuning in.
Thank you. So we're going to kind of jump in, and you're going to tell me what is this product. What is Fulton PX? What is it?
This is a product that removes toxic heavy metals, excessive radiation, and free radicals out of the human body. All these metals, we should have them, but we should have it in balance.
Yes.
As we are made out of the soil,
yes,
we should have them, whatever soil has, but it should be in balance. Otherwise, human body is destroyed and people die, people get hurt.
Right. Well, some we don't want to have. We don't want to have aluminum. We should have some, but to the point that people are using certain things that are causing early dementia and aluminum from deodorant. So we have our environmental this high in some metal, and we're finding now through some research that even nickel. And your product, we want to talk about, because of not just taking it to remove heavy metal. What I'm really happy about and excited is also helps with radiation. And I have a very dear friend, associate. She's going to be on the show down the line here. Our former Senator Diane Watson, who is been taking it for titanium, and she speaks very heavy on this. So she's taking it because your product is great for removing titanium for a knee transplant that she's had. So I want you to tell me more about the product, and then how is this product really made? How is it formulated?
Well, do not expect me that I tell you all the secrets.
Oh, no, not all the secrets. Okay.
But anyhow, it's made out of parts of pine, out of grape extract, grape seed extract, and some other herbs in smaller quantities, which make, through the technology of making them, it makes what it is.
Yes.
It has been initially it was developed for the Chernobyl victims back in 1986. They started doing it, and then when they saw the power of this product, they tested on oncological patients to see how it would support the immune system. And as you know, if you have immune system, it's like your bodyguard, it's like your army. Nobody can hurt you.
Exactly.
So it showed that out of about 100 patients we have the records of, whoever took this product, each and every one of them kept the leukocyte levels at all times while they were going through chemotherapy and radiotherapy. Otherwise, as a doctor, you know, during those procedures, the leukocytes, they drop
Yes.
levels, and then sometimes they even have to stop for the treatment because there is no more immune system. So everybody who took it, it shows we have the records that the leukocyte levels were always kept within the range.
Most
that they should
definitely,
have.
and I utilize it. And the reason why you're here too is because it isn't something I'm just talking about. It is something that I have used with my own patients and who have gone through testing to see that they're actually healing, and they're healing much better. So the immune system is so important to make sure that that the body heals. If you are inundated with all these heavy metals, you're going to not heal well. And you don't even lose weight well. A lot of people don't realize weight is attached to a lot of heavy metals also. So in every condition that happens, high blood pressure, diabetes, you have to go through first and let's check for heavy metals. All of my cancer patients or people I work with cancer, the number one component I want to check is heavy metal. Yeah.
Well, heavy metals, as I said, we should have all of them. But for one person's deficiency might be some other person's excessive part.
Yes. Yes.
You have to have within a range, no lower than one level and no higher than the other level. If once you are within that level, within that range, that channel, you're okay. If you have either up or down, I mean, outside of that, you have to.
Oh, most definitely. There is a range.
Think about it.
There is a toxicity level, and that's where we get into trouble when we end up with a toxicity level of mercury, and we know the damage of mercury. Mercury we hear about it everywhere from dental, deodorant, toothpaste, and how it's been removed. We've had a wonderful biological dentist on the show. Just talked about the mercury. So it's so important that, things like the mercury, and, one component people are not looking into and it's not a metal, but calcium. When you get too much calcium, a dear friend of mine has written a book on death by calcium, Dr. Thomas Levy. So it's really important that you know what's happening. So when you're dealing with metals and you're dealing with an imbalance of things happening in the body, things will shift. This will shift and affect your kidneys greatly. People are developing these stones. So when we want to get the body taken care of and remove heavy metals, and people say, well, where did this come from? Where does this aluminum come from? Where does titanium come from? Where does cadmium, where does it come from? Nickel. We have people who smoke a lot of cigarettes, and a friend of mine ended up with secondary cancer, bladder cancer from her husband smoking, and she ended up with bladder cancer. When we did her tests, it was high in the heavy metal. And then one a patient of mine had bone cancer. Well, after they did her tests, I did her tests, and she had seen many doctors. She was high in lead. She had a lot of lead. So
well, you mentioned mercury, you have mentioned lead, and you mentioned calcium. Now, let's talk about calcium.
Okay.
A lot of people have, especially people who are aged, they have problems with the arthritis.
Yes.
But those bones are worn out.
Yes.
But they have to go somewhere. So they go inside the body, they form excessive part of heavy substance, which is, heavy elements.
Yes.
which is calcium. And calcium is, in that sense, calcium is one of the most unique elements we have.
Yes.
In one place can be excessive, the other place can be deficient.
Mm-hmm.
And once we have that balance violated, then you have to do something about it. Now, talking about mercury and talking about lead, we know that after Fukushima, for instance, what happened to the sea life, such as fish and others, or what happened to the water itself, we are getting so much mercury out of fish.
Yes.
It's not even funny.
Oh, yes, we know.
And lead goes inside.
Especially tuna. People have been on high
Yes.
tuna diets and high fish diets. Those are the people I check right away to see what's going on.
Yeah, and also there is a problem with lead in California, based on the writings on the internet. 79% of the counties, and that includes San Diego, Los Angeles, and San Francisco, which
Yes.
accounts about 90% of the population,
Mm-hmm.
all these counties. 79% of the counties have the poisoned water with lead, and
Yes.
people are drinking it.
Mm-hmm.
And they say that it's all tested, all that, but when you go into micro level to test them, it shows all different.
Yes.
The reality is different than what they claim to be. And that should be addressed not only on individual level, but on a national level, as well as on the global level, because water is poisoned, and all we have, 90% or maybe more of our body is water.
Yes. And I just saw something that our engineer is working on to show the color of the water when it's lead. And you know, a lot of people are saying that it's okay. It's okay to have water that look like this. There's a lot of areas here in Los Angeles. We're here in California. We're but there's areas in each city that's having major problems. You took it upon yourself to fly to another state to try to help. And we're not going to go into detail what happened there.
Well, I went to Flint, Michigan. We
Yes.
don't know what's going on there, and the response of these people from the street was huge. But when we got to politicians, forget it. I have no faith in them.
Yeah, and you were going there to actually give this wonderful product to the people to help them to heal. From the goodness of your heart, you said, you know what, this is not a test study or any type of testing you were doing. We know the testing has been done. We could talk about the testing in a minute, but we already know that it will work. And you flew all the way to Flint, Michigan.
Yes, I did. And it's on the record. I offered them, you all have your constituencies all poisoned with water. We know that that's a big problem. Mm-hmm. Take each one of you, there are 9 of them, each one of you, like 5 or 10 people. We will supply with the product, we will supply with the testing, all that, and test how this product helps. And once you know it does, then you can say that you have found solution. But they said, yeah, we will, well, of course, but no action. That
no follow-up with you. No follow-up.
No, I followed up many times.
You followed up, but they did not.
Nobody returns the call, and that was in last April, and still nothing happens there. But in the meantime, when people get used to bad stuff, there is an old expression, when the exception from the rule is accepted, that exception becomes the rule.
Right.
So they accept it, so that's the way it becomes way of their lives. Mm-hmm. And not much I can do. If they accept it, they accept it.
They accept it. You, like I said, took it upon yourself to go to
Yes.
see what you can do to help. You saw this on the news. We have things right here happening in our community. I have personally taken it upon myself to call certain organizations and say, look, I have someone who is willing. We're not trying to use anyone as a guinea pig. This actually worked. Now, if the kids already are coupled with, they've had vaccinations, the mercury from the vaccinations, they have learning disabilities, why not? Let's just check to see if we can help them with the lead. Blood test has already been done. Blood test has been done to see that there's a lot of lead there. So why won't you just take on this product so that we can help? But I just want to say that because the fact that you took it up on yourself to volunteer to do this out of the kindness of your heart, not because you're doing research on people, it's because you know it worked and you wanted to help. And I think you should be commended for going over and beyond,
Thanks.
To do what you're doing, because this is all finance that's been coming out of your pocket. No one is giving you monies to do this. You're doing this because you want to help people, because you know that it works. Now, we carry this product in our clinic, and I use it with my patients because of the fact that it works. In dealing with something that's natural, that is so powerful. So not only are you removing the heavy metal, we are strengthening your immune system. Pine bark, we know, is phenomenal. It's been used for so many things. We use it for dementia and Alzheimer and just cancer patients. So it's not just something that's just randomly out there, but it's been out there for years. So pine bark is very, very powerful. So I want to say your combination of what you have placed there is phenomenal. So is this particular product, is there any side effects?
Not that we know of. We have given to thousands and thousands of people have tried this in the United States and abroad, and not one single complaint up to date. None, zero. It cannot have any side effects. I mean,
no,
it's all natural.
Natural. Yeah, those are one of the questions I'm throwing out there, because sometimes people say, there's side effects to so many things, but we know that this particular product, there is no side effects. And
think about it. During the springtime, the flowers come out, and then in the summertime, all the leaves are okay, and then in the autumn time they die. They get yellow, they die, and on the springtime they come again and again. But pine tree, they never die. They're always there.
Isn't it amazing? The history of the pine tree.
Yes. And believe it or not, my last name is Pine.
Is maybe that's why you were ordained to be in this business that you're in.
Could be.
By your last name being Pine. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I really think there's some synergy to why you're doing what you're doing.
It's just coincidence, but
I don't think it's a coincidence. Nothing happening in the universe, I think, is a coincidence. But it's a powerful one that I am so thankful that you're doing what you're doing. And I know I keep saying that because not many people with a company will do what you're doing. So that's why I keep saying what I'm doing. Now, how safe is this for children, and at what age can a child take this product?
It's safe for everybody, but there is a saying, if it's not broken, don't fix it. But the problem is that nobody knows whether it's broken or not unless you test it.
Right.
People from 3D and over, we all know, they have lived long enough to have contracted all these problems with the heavy metals and radiation and free radicals, all excessive sense. But children, they still breathe same air. They have a lot of reserves for future than adults. But if they start taking in small portions from childhood, they will remain healthy. That's the way I see it. That's why I give my kids, and it's good.
So we know babies are born through the umbilical cord. It's been researched to show that it's over 200 plus toxins that are entering the baby at birth. And that's some of the people who are trying to do things on a healthy level. So we know that they come into the world a little toxic. And then by the time they're inundated, depending on what area you're in with the water, and people are using bottled water and doing things of that nature. And we don't know how much is even, bathing. Most people should have shower filters. And we just don't know.
I have seen, for instance, some people have exhibited their own machinery for water filtering. And they show one company's water has so much, and the other one has the more, the less, and then they show their machine what it does. But the thing is, even bottled water is not as clean as it should be.
Oh, yeah.
And we're drinking
Yeah,
it.
we've heard a lot of history
And
about bottled water.
We buy
It's
it.
been in the media a lot about bottled water. So some of it we know it's not even coming from the source they say it's coming from. But
water bottled is not that good, but no bottled water is even worse. You gotta take it that way. There is no shortcut. There is no answer to it unless. When it comes to our product, it cannot prevent you from getting all that junk, but once you have insight, it can help you to get rid of them.
mm-hmm. We're going to take a commercial break right here. And so I can thank my sponsor for the show here. So we're going to take a break, and we'll want to thank NuWellness Healthcare for being our sponsor. And the component of NuWellness Healthcare is IV vitamin C therapies that we do, and not just vitamin C. We do the Myers cocktail. So our sponsor is NuWellness Healthcare, but we offer the wonderful vitamin C. And as I'm saying that, I don't believe in chelation, which is the show today. And so many people for heavy metal will do chelation. I'm one is an advocate against chelation. That's just me. I know a lot of people a little different, but we're so happy that we offer the IV vitamin therapy for energy, for migraine headache. Vitamin C will also chelate some of the heavy metal. I do a combination of them both because I think we need to do the PO, and not everybody can come in for an IV. So this is very good that we have the product. But I just want to say that for your sexual energy, for insomnia, just to have a better quality of life. And you want to strengthen your immune system. There's so much going on in our environment. This is why we offer the wonderful vitamin C's through or nutritional IV, both micro and macro nutrition through NuWellness Healthcare. So I am so thrilled that we're able to do this. And right now we have a wonderful special because things shouldn't cost that much money. And a lot of places have kind of come into business ever since 2009, and a lot of people know my history. But now there's clinics everywhere that's doing IVs. I've been doing this for years. So we do have a special. It is very important. I want to let people know that if you're doing vitamin C IV therapies, you must know some of your blood tests before just jumping into IVs. You want to know what is called a G6PD. You want to know your ferritin level. You want to kind of know, too, your homeocysteine, C-reactive protein, some of your inflammation markers. So that's what I'm going to say about our sponsor, NuWellness Healthcare. We're located at 4560 Admiralty Way in Marina Del Rey. And our phone number is 310-419-4300. So please give us a call. And I really want to thank our sponsor, NuWellness Healthcare. So back to my guest here.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. And, meeting your wonderful wife, who looks very healthy, and she's in the medical field too, you can tell that
she's a medical doctor.
She's a medical doctor. And seeing how healthy she is. She's a very healthy, beautiful lady. You are walking the walk and talking the talk. And it shows through you, and it shows through your family also, as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So let's just go into, a lot of people are asking, where are these metals coming from?
Well, they come mostly from food and from water. We are what we eat, what we drink, what we get inside.
And what we breathe. It's a lot now in the environment. So I think the research is showing, too, that we're having a lot of heavy metal nickel. Is it nickel? One of the metals I know we're having much more in the environment than we should have. And so people are breathing this in.
All the metals.
All the metals, and then the radiation and the Fukushima fallout.
Including uranium.
Uranium.
And uranium is one of the main components for the nuclear bomb. So can you imagine what we have?
Oh, yeah. And then we go out into this world, and this is what we're inundated with, which is not great. So this is what's happening. So if we start from, looking at all the metals and to know that this is one product that can be tested. Now, what type of testing have you done? Research.
We have done hair tests, blood tests, urine tests, feces on people who have experienced either cancer or they think that they have toxic heavy metals or other sicknesses. And what happened was people who have had toxic heavy metals before taking this product and then they took this product, before and after, the difference is like day and night. It's all on our website. You can see it.
Oh, yes. I've seen it with my own patients.
Yes.
Then I take the product myself because I've been in this world for, I don't want to tell my complete age, 60 plus. So, I've been taking the product myself because of what my whole journey in life has been about. So inundated with metals myself. So people on certain medications have heavy metals, and some people just take it and think, well, this is okay, and things build up in the system. So it's so important to know what's going on, because the heavy metals not only are metals in our body, as you're speaking of, but they offset. It's an imbalance of everything. Your electrolytes are out of balance. You look at your phosphorus level, you look at everything. So when you look at metals and you're doing hair analysis, I use a company and do hair analysis. We can do blood testing also. But when you look at it, you're looking at not just the metals, you're looking at the whole cascade of your minerals, your metals, you're looking at everything. So once you start decreasing these heavy metals, guess what? Everything else goes back into balance. And our aim here is to make sure you have the best quality of life. Mm-hmm. The best quality of life. No one's going to say any one product maybe might remove all of them. You have to have some there anyway. But if you have the best quality of life, that's what's important. It's the best quality.
We just recently tested a few people, and one of them, her name is Teresa. The reference range for the uranium should be maximum 170. She had, before she took the product, she had 1,200, where is allowed only 170, 170. Mm-hmm. It's like almost 7-8 times more. After taking it for 1 month, we tested again. It was 932.
My goodness.
And then after taking break and taking another month, it came down to 95.
95. And how does she feel?
Oh, absolutely great.
Mm-hmm.
She's happy as hell. She's good.
Yes, she is. And I'm so grateful. And the thing is, a lot of times people are so sick and they don't know why. Fatigue, depression, all these things in the body, when they're out of balance and you have toxicity level, you can have depression. It can affect your vision. So once you start taking care of this, and give us some more case studies, because I know our listening audience is going to say, you know what, I have that problem, or there's someone in my family that have that problem.
Well, not everybody has excessive of same heavy metal.
No.
Some people have uranium, some people have barium, cadmium, silver, platinum, titanium, you name it. Arsenic, very common.
Arsenic, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
one lady thought her husband was poisoning her with arsenic and didn't know it was coming through another source.
So people can have any of them or combination of some of them.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, depending what kind of place they live, what's the radiation level there, or what's the environmental situation there.
Exactly.
Taking this product, it has effect on them according to how do they continue treating themselves with food and water.
Yes.
But regardless how good food, how organic they eat, how filtered water they drink, one thing never discriminate is nobody absolutely on the planet is discriminated. Not one single person is air. We all breathe same air.
Yes, we do.
And that air is, as we know it, is poisoned. Poisoned with Fukushima stuff, poisoned with the industrial outcome with this polluted weather. In Australia, they did a study maybe 30 years ago. Every metric ton of gasoline is burned, it leaves in the air 50 milligrams of uranium.
Uranium. Mm-hmm.
Every metric ton, 50 milligrams. That means 20 metric ton leaves 1 gram. 20,000 metric ton is 1 kilo. And if you take, for instance, intersection of 101 and 405,
Yes.
the busiest place on the planet, 650,000 cars passing every day,
Oh, yes.
maybe more now. So can you imagine how much uranium is left in that place
Oh, yes.
within, let's say, 1 mile?
Just
radius?
driving on the freeway itself. The 101 and the 405. Oh, yes.
We tested, for instance, an immediate effect of this product on people who have had some problems with different metals. And Dr. Schallenberger, he inquired a study to see on people how it affects on the third day after people taking it.
Mm-hmm.
So we tested on few people before on 24 hours collection of feces and urine, and then taking Folium, and then on the third day, same test again, 24 hours collection of urine and feces. And within the third day, it was disposing 30 to 100% more toxic heavy metals than before. All of them, all the metals, no exception. And that blew my mind. I mean, on the third day, you can already see it.
Yeah. You know, and that's so powerful. If you don't mind, I know a person can kind of listen to it again, but repeat that because that's powerful. And there's so many people with so many symptoms, and they're not getting to the baseline of what's really happening with them and not knowing it's metal. So can you repeat that again for me, please?
Well, if you test yourself with 24 hours collection of urine and feces.
Urine and feces. This goes to a lab.
How much you're disposing all those heavy metals, all the whole spectrum of it. And then start taking this product as recommended, as instructed. And on the third day, taking those tests again on 24 hours collection of feces and urine, and see how much disposal you have before and how much you have on the third day. And that is day and night. That you will see that you're disposing much, much higher levels of all these heavy metals in comparison to before you start taking the product. Right. And that's huge.
It's very huge, especially when we're in this environment every day. And our children are in this environment. They're on the playgrounds playing, and it's just the traveling. And even though a lot of people say I have great filters on my car, you know, how much is still not inundated? You still have to get out of the car and walk. So there's a lot. The air is just, you know, the funny thing, people who live around freeways, I find them to be very, very ill. So when patients come into the office, it's important that not only a physical examination and everything is done, but a clear history taking to find out, you know, where do you live? You know, are you close to any freeways? Because that's going to play a major part in their overall health also, if you live near a freeway.
Not only that, not only freeway, but anywhere
where there's toxic plants.
Where you have traffic.
A lot of traffic.
Now, pay attention when you leave this place, when you drive. Look at around you. You'll see all the plants and trees and bushes, right? And look at what color they are. Green, right?
Yeah, they're,
And then look deep inside. Look at the other plants and other trees. See that green, and then come back and look at them again. Oops, it's not green. It happened to be yellow. You didn't know. You tried.
You know, I've never.
I would encourage everybody to try that. I mean, look at the plants and trees along the streets and highways, and then look deep inside, see other trees, and compare the colors. That green and this green. This green is not green anymore. It's yellow because it absorbs all the toxic what comes out of the gasoline.
Oh my goodness.
While trucks are driving, while the cars are driving vehicles. I mean, that's, you have to see that. But in the meantime, we are taking that, we're breathing it, and then our tires, our wheels are bringing it to our garages.
Most definitely.
And we take it inside the house. We don't even know that. But the problem is that it doesn't happen at once. It happens within time.
It's a gradual buildup in the body.
And that's why people die before age.
A lot of people, we have more and more people that are presenting. And years ago, I worked in the ER, and we had so many people presenting with illnesses, even in the clinic, of more and more conditions. And it's like, well, you know, nobody can find out what's wrong with me, or I've had this condition and nobody can find out, or I'm going through this, and they've done all these tests. But they did all the tests, but nobody did functional medicine, and looking at the lab work on a cellular level, and they are not doing heavy metal. So if they do heavy metal and only do one component, I love the fact that you're doing both feces, you're looking at the stool for heavy metals, you're looking at the blood, and you're looking at the hair. You're not just looking at one component, and urine. So it's important that, you know, all four are looked into with that one person, because a hair might just show you something else at that point in time. It should be like a 3-month history, but check the feces and see what's going on in the feces, because in your stool, if you're showing all these heavy metals in your stool and your urine, then what's going on with your kidneys? What's going on with your colon? If this is going through those systems and it's showing up there, believe me, some of this is clinging to the walls. So it's important to know what's been left into the body.
It's exactly, and not only that, when you see, sometimes you go to the supermarket, and
Yes.
you will have better looking apples, less than half price of not so good looking apples.
Yes.
They look good, but what's inside only God knows. Because when you harvest something along the highways, the quality, is different.
Yeah.
And we happen to consume that, and we don't even know what the problems are until it's too late.
Right. And a lot of people, we do organic, certified organic, but the best thing to do, what we can do on this earth today, when we have a product, we want to do the best we can. We do all we know to do. And the rest, you just have to bless your food. And we should be blessing it. But you do what you can. You can wash it. There's certain things you can wash it with. They have washes to wash off some of the wax. But still, it's deep inside. It's bedded inside that product, just like you said with the apple. So you can't, and you're going to eat this. You cut up apples and give this to your children. We cook, what we're cooking in on our pots and pans. When we talk about heavy metals, this is what you're cooking in. Has a lot to do with heavy metals seeping into the food. I always tell people from years ago, people would cook tomato-based or acid foods, spaghettis or barbecue or anything with the tomatoes in it, even a pasta with tomato, and cover it with aluminum foil. And I said, if you take that foil off and it's brown in color, all of that aluminum foil has leached into that food. So that's what is happening. Sometimes you can taste it. It's like, this has a little metallic taste, and you just keep eating it. But this is what's happening, especially if you pull it off and you see a change in color in that aluminum foil. That has leached into that food.
Well, there is another thing to consider. A lot of people, just about everybody, consumes meat and milk. If you have cows eating the grass, which is poisoned, what kind of milk you're going to have, or what kind of meat you're going to have? It's all connected. And we are consuming that until we know that it's too late. And
you said filleted?
No, it's too late.
It's too late. Okay.
Yeah.
When you talk about meat, I thought you meant filleted meat. Okay. Yeah, definitely too late. And
people die younger. And one more thing I want to mention. This is now official. Within the last 2 years, in the United States, the life expectancy is down 0.2 years. First time in more than a century.
Mm-hmm.
In 1906, it was like 61 years old, the life expectancy. Now it's 78 on the average, and now it's down 0.2. And once you have downstream, only God knows when it's going to stop,
Right.
when it's going to come back. So it's up to people to take care of their own health, and I will encourage everybody to look into it.
To be your own health advocate.
Absolutely.
You have to. We talk about managed care and all these things with care. You have to learn how to care for yourself and your children, your family. And this interview that we're having will be on our YouTube channel. So you can share this with people. Share this. It's going to be on Facebook. Please share this information because there's a lot of information that has been presented. And sometimes it's the little things. And we have holidays coming up too. And we just had past holidays where people was wrapping up their food and all these different things. Keep in mind, we can't live in a glass bubble. We do the best we can. But if you're taking the right product and doing what you need to do, you can help have a better quality of life. But that's the whole key, is to have the best quality of life.
Well, we have doctors who have tried on their own patients.
Mm-hmm.
They have seen results, and they recommend to every one of their patients. We have some stores who have tested themselves, and
Yes.
they have it. We have sold this product in 30-some countries already throughout the affiliates and other means. So it's there, and I would encourage everybody on the planet to look into your health, see if you have any problems, and if it is what it is, and take it from there.
Yes.
Help yourself, because we all have two rights. One is be healthy, and one is to be unhealthy. And ask yourself, which one is yours?
Mm-hmm.
And our product will definitely help you to be healthier.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure.
Some people think that, I don't have any symptoms, I'm feeling great, not knowing that a lot of things are under the heading of a silent killer. Just because you have no symptoms and you feel good doesn't mean that this is not happening in your body. So I tell people, when you're feeling good, go and get a test just to see where you are. Don't wait until you have a symptom and start feeling bad. Why don't you test yourself now? You've been on this planet how many years? Your children have been here how many years? Even if they're very young. They're exposed to so many things and have been. Like I said, at birth, we have at least over 200 toxins enter into the umbilical cord. So you want to test yourself and just know where you are for your own peace of mind. Know where you are. And there's a lot of people who come to me and come to NuWellness Healthcare. They're not all sick. Some just want to say, look, I just want to stay healthy. Where am I right now? So in doing functional medicine blood tests and doing integrative medicine, we find out, and my wonderful daughter who worked with me is Siobhan Kamen, who is a clinical nutritionist. We go through and we find out, we do everything. We make sure everything is pulled together. So a person, when they walk away knowing this is what's happening in my body. The heavy metal is part of it. We have to, in order for you to heal, you have to know what's going on there. A dear friend of mine, or a patient, have a situation, and he never said that he worked in a company where he's around a lot of toxin. A complete family came to me years ago, and they all had cancer, and they came from an area, from another country, where there was a mining company. A mine was there. So they all had bone cancer, lung cancer, brain cancer. So getting a thorough history and start taking care of people. So I'm just so thankful that there's a product on the market that will help a person to heal like they should. It is so important.
It is important, and the problem is Western medicine is going for symptoms,
Mm-hmm.
but the cause is always there. It goes one day, but the next day it's back.
Yes.
But in our case, this is dealing with the cause of those symptoms, which is heavy metals, radiation, free radicals, and all the other junk, which is already proven and documented. So if you have no source for these sicknesses, then you're doing good.
Yes. And I just want to say, too, before we close, I know we have a few more minutes, that you can listen to the show at ubnradio.com. You can listen to the show, and you can also watch the show again by going to NuWellness TV with Dr. Lee, and you can pick up this show on our YouTube channel. So I just want to say again, please share this with your family and friends, because when you have knowledge is power, as we know, knowledge is power. And before we close, what do you have to let our audience know? We have a few minutes more, maybe one or two, but what do you want to share and want our audience to leave with a message coming from you as the CEO of this wonderful company?
Well, definitely help is here to some extent.
Yes.
No product will make you immortal,
Yes.
but this will for sure extend your life in a better way, a longer life.
Yes.
That's what we know so far, and I would encourage you to take care of your health, because if you don't do for yourself, nobody else will.
They certainly will not.
And help is here, and reclaim your health. After all, you deserve it.
Yes.
I think.
And I just want to say, too, before we close, the product that you see on the screen here is the number one product. In order to purchase this product, you can call our office at NuWellness Healthcare, or can you give out your information? Because you don't want to just go on the internet and purchase it, because on the internet, a lot of things are not the same. So if you're not getting it from the source, myself, Dr. Lee at NuWellness Healthcare, by calling 310-419-4300, you can call the company directly. So give your information out for me very quickly.
You can call 1-855-FOLIUM-PX, which is 1-855-365-4867.
Yes, but if they go to folium.com, they're going to find your website.
Yeah, and also
foliumpx.com. They will find the product. They can order it on the website.
FOLIUMPX.com. You can also Google it. There are some...
But I don't want them Googling so much. I want them to go straight to your website, because people would try to imitate. When things are out in the media a lot, and I've seen that happen a lot, they would try to imitate. You want the real deal. And the real deal is coming straight from your company. I know you. We will have it in our clinic, because not everything you see on a label and it looks the same is the same thing on the internet. So we have to be very mindful with that. So I want to say thank everyone for being here today, watching this show. Please share it with your family and your friends. It's very important. And as I end the show, you know what I say. Repeat after me. I am so grateful that I am a magnet for miracles. And so are you. Have a wonderful, blessed day. We'll be with you next Wednesday.
Thanks for having me.
Join us every Wednesday live at 11 a.m. for NuWellness TV with Dr. Lee. Remember, healthy mind, healthy body.